Hello, this is Fungo, and looking back, there were some great games of 2013. Still a lot of residual great games of 2012, and a lot of good-looking upcoming games in 2014. But right now, I want to focus back on 2013, and what I thought was really the best. So here we go, starting with Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5. Kingdom Hearts is technically 10 years old. That being said, and it's still making it to the best games of 2013 list, is quite remarkable. It ages well. It brings back all those wonderful feelings of nostalgia in two delightful layers. One, you got the Disney nostalgia, and two, now you got the Kingdom Hearts / Final Fantasy nostalgia. It's a double whammy of goodness. Even if you've never played a Kingdom Hearts Final Fantasy game or had a very deprived childhood lacking any Disney influence, it still has a charm that brings out your inner child. Whereas in a standard RPG game, one might dread the chance encounters, in this game, you're more than likely on top of it. The battles, which require minimal strategy at times and lots of button mashing, are fun and rewarding. The high-definition redone graphics are just icing on this cake, rewarding us with clean and crisp and colorful graphics that rejuvenates the experience for all. Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies. Even though never released outside of Japan in a physical form, it's still a wonderful, great downloadable game. Dual Destinies is a great dish for the Ace Attorney series fans. If you're interested in this title and haven't before played an Ace Attorney game, I'd recommend starting with the first one to get established with the characters and learn a bit of the story leading up to this one. However, it's still great even if you've never played an Ace Attorney game before. The Ace Attorney series of games have always been known for the memorable and quirky characters, stories, and intriguing cases. This title is no different. For the first time ever, there are actual anime cutscenes and voice acting that look and sound great. Also, for the first time ever, everything is in 3D, but with the classic layout and design, so it's not too unfamiliar for your eyes. There are new, memorable characters and story, wonderful music, eye-candy anime graphics. The game is wholly engaging and fun, and more so for those who have played and enjoyed the originals. Slender The Arrival. This indie horror game certainly delivers on the spine-tingling scares. While it is lacking in the gameplay department and doesn't have a whole lot of challenge to it, it definitely deserves an honorable mention for how well it accomplishes horror in the rawest form. Slender Man is always watching, lurking in the shadows, and it's your goal not to get caught by him or his minions. Anyone who caught on to Slenderman before he got his own game knows that the idea of a long, faceless alien in a business suit can be pretty creepy. He first started as a meme, shopped into a series of old photographs. The thought of this being real evidence of such an entity raises hair on the back of my neck. The game is even scarier for those of you who actually believe this internet boogeyman is real. And yes, there are people out there who believe in Slenderman just as much as they do Santa Claus or Pocahontas. The first few games featuring Slenderman weren't all that great, but this one is one of the first truly noteworthy adaptations with top-of-the-morning sound and visual effects. Go pick it up and support those poor starving indies. They need your help. Super Mario 3D World. The Wii U arguably didn't have much going on for it until this game came around. Sure, there is Pikmin 3, Rayman Legends, and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, but only one of those is truly unique to the console and not a real system seller. My first impressions of this game were a little, let's say, unenthusiastic. It looked like they dumbed the game down for babies. I mean, seriously, like cat suits? But later, you accept and welcome the new gameplay mechanics. There's just something about playing a non-2D Super Mario game with 4 players. It is great to involve your non-gamer family members in a game for a little family bonding time you can agree with. The game is cooperative with a small dash of competition, with a battle to wear the crown and to be the best player. You gotta be the very best, especially at Mario. Even Grandma is competition. The Last of Us. With some of the best game designers and writers in the gaming industry, Naughty Dog pulled off yet another blockbuster story coupled with some of the best graphics in a console game to date. No other game hits the heart chords quite like this one. As everyone already knows, this is a post-apocalyptic based world desolated by a mind-controlling fungus. The vicious and frightening people who have succumbed to the fungus aren't the real threat. The people are. Survival is the focus of the game, and survival can lead humans to do crazy, murderous things. Other scavenging people want what you have and want to kill you for it. They're the real threat. Last of Us realizes the cruelty of humanity in a world raised without rules or morals and primal needs. I gripe that the game is more story than actual gameplay, but from a graphics and story-driven standpoint, this game takes the brutally beaten cake. You have to scavenge ammo and health, create makeshift weapons, and sneak around in the dark to survive. The gameplay is straightforward and is split into waves, with enough checkpoints to help you get through to the next heart-wrenching conclusion. No Kuni. Very few games give you much incentive to jump out of the bed in the morning too. This is one of the rare few. The game is beautifully rendered, pulling off the cel shading / anime look better than any game before it. And every now and then you're treated to a delightful anime cutscene. This game feels like an interactive Miyazaki movie, and if you don't know who he is the creator of Studio Ghibli, who has been pretty much deemed as Japan's Disney. Their movies are so good, they caught the attention of Disney, and Disney claimed the rights to translate and localize the movies for English-speaking countries. This game contains all the childlike charm and wonder you'd expect from Miyazaki or even Disney, along with some addictive level 5 gameplay. The combat seems like a glorified Pokemon battle where you own and unleash Pokemon, familiars, and call them back before the timer expires to unleash another one. You go around and collect these familiars and can even metamorphose them and make them stronger Pokemon. Familiars. Ni no Kuni seems like the highest end level 5 RPG akin to Dragon Quest, but with a Studio Ghibli soul. Metro Last Light. Don't we all just love a good post-apocalyptic based, well, anything? And if it's ever been done right, it's been done right by the Metro franchise. 4A Games delivers an experience that is one of a kind, placing you in a post-nuclear Moscow. Humanity has taken to the complex metro system below the city to attempt to maintain some form of continuity. However, rival factions, disease, and mutated beasties create reoccurring problems for survival. Metro Last Light is most compelling because of its full-on immersion and attention to detail. The environments look lived in, down to every last used piece of fine dinnerware. The gunplay is a lot more tolerable than its predecessor Metro 2033, and stealth sections are built as such that it's a lot more practical than its previous entry. The waist got you down. You could always grab a stiff drink, or perhaps some extracurricular activities. Papers, please. Who would have thought that being a border inspection officer would be so fun? I wouldn't say this game is so much fun as it is addictive. It's an extremely simple game created by one person, Lucas Pope, taking place in a fictional communist country. The game is tedious and meticulous to the rules you have to follow in order to keep the right people out and let the right people in. Wait a second, you're not a woman? We'll see about this. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. It also throws a few curveballs at you to make your job more complex with an overabundant amount of rules to follow. Get 3 strikes and they start docking you pay, which in turn cuts into the amount of money you have to take care of your family's provisions. Soon they'll have to go without heat, then without food, then get sick and die. And then when your family's all dead, you're fired. And it's game over. Now you see just how depressing life in Artstrotska really is. Resident Evil Revelations. Technically, this game came out exclusive to the 3DS platform in 2012, but after the poor sales of the dismal Resident Evil 6, Capcom decided to release this in HD on multiple home systems in 2013 at a stellar price point. Turns out this game is leaps and bounds better than Resident Evil 6, and is much better received. The game still adopts the Resident Evil 4 control and combat style, but brings back the dark and moody atmospheres from the originals, as well as survival horror. The game is tons of fun to play, and is easy to jump into due to the episodic structure. It brings back some old characters and new, including Ronald McDonald here, with familiar, wonderful writing in the memos, notes, and puzzles. It has some good old Resident Evil scares and tension, and there are also some surprisingly great graphics coming from a game originally developed for the 3DS handheld. The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. Did you like A Link in Time? Well, I can go so far as to say that this reboot for the 3DS, A Link Between Worlds, is better, and probably one of the better Zelda installments in a while. It introduces a lot of the same elements from the classic, but several new mechanics. It has all the charm and style and nostalgia from A Link in Time, and then some. The music is remastered with new and interesting compositions. The dungeons and puzzles are wonderful, and sometimes thought-provoking. The game is pretty easy, but there's plenty of nostalgia, charm, and collectibles to go back to. This is easily one of the best games of the year, and for all ages. Splinter Cell Blacklist. I feel this game flew under the radar and didn't get the credit it deserved. Most likely because of their previous entry, Conviction, which had warranted complaints. Most people saw Blacklist as being yet another Conviction and skipped it altogether. Wrong idea. Blacklist is getting extremely good reviews, but it's just not getting the talk. Blacklist takes all the best of the original games and throws out all the worst of Conviction. And with obvious influence from fan feedback, Ubisoft sculpts an amazing game that's terribly fun. This is one of the best stealth action games ever made, allowing you the choice to go about your missions any way you want. You can go loud or quiet with your choice of gadgets and gear. You can go through each mission any way you want to, unlocking rewards for each playstyle. Plus, there are tons of bonus content, replayability, and multiplayer. This game has a lot of polish, and with the gameplay style, I would say this is very much the American equivalent of Metal Gear Solid. DMC Devil May Cry. Now for a controversial one. I'm gonna say it because it's true. DMC is not only one of the few good reboots, it is the best and one of the best games of the year. As a fan of the original Devil May Cry series, I don't have the same negative mindset as the majority. In fact, I prefer this game over the originals. The game has fluid animations, realistic mocap, and is overall an extremely fun hack and slash with tons of unlockable combos. The art and design are impeccable and consistent with the level design, character design, and graphics. The story is intriguing, the voice acting is high quality, and even the lip syncing is the best I've seen in decades. You'll even come to love Dante's new look and terrible one-liners. The music is intense and fitting and makes you feel all the more badass as you're flying through the game destroying demons with your arsenal of weapons. To top it off, the game has tons of replayability and is fun to jump in and play anytime. There's too many good things to say and nothing bad, unless you want to compare it to the previous entries, but I'm not getting into that. I bet you didn't see this one coming. Grand Theft Auto 5. It's a no-brainer that the next entry into the Grand Theft Auto franchise will be one of the best games of the year. Every new GTA introduces more content, higher quality graphics, more detail, refined mechanics, and just plain more. Grand Theft Auto 5 is no different. This one introduces us to the largest and most detailed world yet, including San Andreas and the area surrounding, such as Vinewood. The combat mechanics are those of Max Payne 3's, the game which I think was created as a tech demo to their new combat system. GTA 5, for the first time ever, allows us to switch between characters on the fly. Michael, the middle-aged retired from crime, living the not-so-perfect American dream. Trevor, the murdering psychopath who you'll hate, then love, then come to hate again. Franklin. Well, everyone loves Franklin, the chill, good-hearted youngest of the bunch. Grand Theft Auto Online is also seamlessly built in and offers some great social fun even after the expansive single-player game has exhausted itself. And that won't happen anytime soon. The story is very captivating and there's a lot to explore. The main missions give you 2 alternative ways to go about it, along with allowing you to choose your crew. There's hundreds and hundreds of hours to be poured into this game, with all the treasure hunting missions, side missions, and optional stuff. This game is well worth the $60 and then some. Now, I am only human and I'm just one person, so there are games that I haven't played yet that I desperately want to. Here are some games of honorable mention.
You're dying. You're also having a weird dream.
Wait, what?
They're beating you up.
Oh, shit.
This is Fungo, a Fungo review on the Fungo YouTube channel. And if you like what you just saw, comment, rate, subscribe, do what you gotta do that YouTube stuff. Send me feedback, I like feedback, email me at this email address right here. So thank you and onward to more videos.